I got that red alert. Pulling up now, is you ready to go? You know.
Yo, what is up guys, it's the Goblin and welcome back to another Call of Duty Black Ops 3 video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the HVK assault rifle, how to make this class setup overpowered, and basically this new class setup that I found with the HVK, because I used to never use the HVK with the red dot sight until I saw a bunch of pro players using it and stuff like that. And I also customized this class setup and this kill streak loadout and everything like that to make this class super overpowered. And I know on my last video I asked you guys what guns you guys wanted to see me, talk about class setups and everything for, and the HVK was one that was highly requested and also one that I wanted to do. So in this gameplay you'll see two nice gameplays here on Combine Team Deathmatch, get like 50 or 60 kills every team deathmatch here, and let me go right into this class setup and explaining all of it. But first off, I want to say if you guys could and do enjoy this video, I'd appreciate if you guys could all drop a like on this video. That would be absolutely amazing. If we could hit 2,000 likes, I would really appreciate that. And you guys' support means the world to me. 2,000 likes would be the best thing ever. So let's get right into the class setup. I'll throw it up on the screen right now, and we'll basically talk about this class and explain to you guys why I think this class setup is absolutely deadly. And this class setup is one that you really want to use for capitalizing on kill streaks. Now, I'll throw the class setup up in a second, but I just want to talk about it first. In Black Ops 3, or pretty much in any Call of Duty game, most of the kills that you get in the game are going to be off of your kill streaks if you are playing the game good. If you say you get 40 kills in a team deathmatch and none of those kills are from the kill streak because you couldn't reach the kill streaks, you were probably running streaks that were too high for you. Now, you want to be able to run streaks that you can get pretty much every single game. Obviously, sometimes if you have a really bad game, you're not going to be able to get those kill streaks, but that's how this class setup works. You want to use this class setup to get these big streaks and basically just let the streaks rain down on the enemies, especially on a map like Combine. As you guys see, the streaks that I'm running right here, Wraith, Raps, and GI unit, three of the most overpowered and best killing streaks in the game. If I'm able to get those things will go absolutely ham on a small map like Combine. There's pretty much nowhere for the enemies to run. They can sit on top of a rock so that my Raps don't kill them, but then the Wraith's gonna get them. So let's throw the class setup up on the screen and talk about it right here. So this is what the class setup is. It is the HVK-30. Now, usually I would never use this gun with the red dot, but lately I've been finding the iron sight isn't really that clean, and just red dot sights or elo sights, I've been finding that they are valued a lot more. I'm valuing them a lot more than I used to before. I used to never really use sights in Call of Duty at all, but I find that if a sight makes you more comfortable, it makes you more comfortable with the gun and able to use it better to your liking, I find that it's definitely worth taking up one slot for, and that's why I find that the red dot, it fits nicely into this class setup. Now, to run this red dot sight, I do have to give up my perk 3, which can be kind of hurtful. However, I don't think perk 3s are really that useful or that powerful, so that's why I like to run this. Now, the attachments that I run on this thing are going to be quick draw, as well as stock, as well as extended mags. Now, there's a few reasons for this. I would like fast mags better. However, this class setup does not have scavenger on it. Now, if you have a class setup without scavenger on it, you always want to run extended mags. Now, some people may not know this, but the reason behind that is because if you have extended mags, you're not going to have 30 bullets in a clip. You're going to have 42 bullets in a clip. Now, if you don't have scavenger, you only start off with the default, I think, 4 rounds of ammo. Now, if you have 12 bullets extra, I don't know, I said 12 3 times, or stumbling on my words, but I'm doing a little bit of math here for you guys. If you have 12 bullets extra and you have 4 clips of ammo, that's 4 times 12 is going to be 48 extra bullets, because you're going to be low on ammo without running scavenger, and that's why I run extended mags on every single class without scavenger. Now, for my other attachments, stock is obviously because I just love it on assault rifles. I feel like if I run an assault rifle without stock, I feel like I'm so stiff. It feels like I'm playing like, a Gotham City Imposters or a different shooter game. It doesn't feel like that smooth Call of Duty feeling that you get when you run stock, and that's basically why I like to run stock. And then quick draw is pretty self-explanatory. It's just probably the best attachment in the game. It wins me so many gunfights that I should lose, as well as paired with fast hands, it does absolutely well. Now, my first perk here, the first perk is one that is interchangeable. Now, on small maps, I suggest you run flak jacket. Obviously, on a map like this, which is Combine, you're going to be hit by grenades, you're going to be hit by C4, you're going to be hit by a bunch of that BS, and that's why I recommend running flak jacket. However, if you're on a more open map, say Infection or Redwood, I would recommend running overclock so you could get your specialist faster. And I'll explain a bit more about how this class setup works, because it's not just the perks and attachment. There's a little bit more onto this class setup. It's paired with the specialist and the kill streaks, but that's what I would recommend for the first perk, is either flak jacket if you feel vulnerable, or overclock if you feel safe on a big map. Then for the second perk, I obviously have fast hands just so I can, aim down sight faster, switch to my fist faster, and pick up weapons. You're always going to want to pick up a weapon here so you don't run out of ammo. And then my other one, you'd think it would be Scavenger, but instead I like to run the Anti-Up perk. Now, why I like to do this is because this class setup is based all around getting your kill streaks, letting your kill streak get you kills, and this is why I'm able to get 50 or 60 kills pretty much every single TDM if I play it well with this class setup, and 70, 80, 90 kills in domination with this class, is because I pair up with either the overclock if I run it. I like to run overclock on this, however, flak jacket is obviously if you're vulnerable, but if you pair up the overclock, the anti-up, and the combat focus specialist all together, it makes getting your kill streaks a lot easier. Now, for example, if I run the Talon as my first kill streak, which I usually run the Wraith or the Talon as my first one. So, for example, the Talon is 1,050 points. Now, if I play TDM with the Talon and I run anti-up, that's going to take it from 1,050, which is going to be 11 kills to get that, down to just 900, which is going to be 9 kills to get that, which obviously makes it a lot easier. Now, if I can get on that streak, if I can get 2 of those kills while my combat focus is popped, that's going to give me an extra 200 points down it on the streak, which will bring it down to 700. It's a lot of math putting into this, and it's a bit too much math for Call of Duty, but if basically on every single streak, if I play it well with my anti-up, as well as using my combat focus effectively to get 2 kills, which I don't think is that hard. I think you can do it if you use your combat focus smartly. You know where the enemies are at. I don't think smartly is even a word, but if you use your combat focus, have smart use of it, basically you pop that, get 2 kills, you're only going to need in total about 7 or 8 kills to get your streak going. And once you get your streak going, it's just absolute mayhem. You're going to have the Wraith, you're going to have a Talon, Raps, a GI unit, whatever you choose to run, they're going to go absolutely bonkers. And this is the class up that you're going to want to use if you want to get the most amount of kills and you're comfortable going on kill streaks. If all you care about is your kill death ratio, getting the most amount of kills, or you don't even care about the kill death ratio but just getting a lot of kills, this class up is pretty much the best for it. And I find that there's been games that have been going very slowly, slow team deathmatch games where I still manage to get 60, 65 kills, over 60 kills, 50 to 60 kills in team deathmatch, and even in games that are on domination where I find that I have a slow start, maybe I only get 25 kills in the first round, but I start to bring up on my kill streak, I end up the game with 80 or 90 kills because of how much work the kill streaks do. Now, the Raps have recently been buffed. They've been buffed about, not recently, but I'd say about a month or two ago. And ever since then, these kill streaks have been absolute bonkers. Now, I used to live stream a lot on YouTube, and during my live streams, I would play on a map like I would play Combine Domination. I would run the kill streak setup with the Hater as well. Now, this is another thing I want to talk about here. For Team Deathmatch, I recommend this sort of kill streak loadout. A Talon, Wraith, and then a Raps. But because, for the simple fact, you don't want to run a Hater if you're playing in Team Deathmatch. If you use the Hater in Team Deathmatch, it's going to help out your teammates, which can obviously be good towards winning the game. But if your teammates have a Hater up for a minute or 45 seconds, I think is how long the Hater lasts, the teammates are going to steal a bunch of kills, and you're in turn going to end up getting less kills. Usually you're going to win pretty much every team deathmatch as long as you get a few streaks, and you don't want your teammates stealing all the kills because then it leaves less kills for you. However, in domination or kill confirmed, I do recommend running the big 3 kill streak setup, which I like to call it, which is the Wraith, the Hater, and the Raps. And by running those big 3 setup, you can basically use the Wraith and the Raps to distract the enemy, to get you a bunch of points, as well as while you have your Hater up, to recycle your kill streaks. Basically, in that 45 seconds where you have the Hater up and you have your kill streaks going ham, you need to be running around the map and you need to be doing the most with your time to be able to capitalize and make sure you get onto the next streak. Now, this class setup is not all, unicorns and rainbows. It can be if you get your streaks. It makes the game absolutely easy. It makes it look like a walk in a park. But there's been too many games where I've personally died one off of my kill streaks or something like that. And on those games, it really is depressing using this class setup. So, if you're someone that can't really handle that, I don't recommend it. I recommend running lower streaks with it. But I find that in Team Deathmatch, there's been so many times where I play it slow. I get on my, 8 or 9 kill streak. I'm one off of getting my first kill streak, which in most points, getting that first kill streak, especially if it's a Wraith or something like that, will lead you to the end of the kill streaks, because simply once you get that first one up, you're going to get map control, you're going to get points out of that, and if you play it smart, you shouldn't choke your score streaks after you get the first one going, although it does happen at certain times. But I find that once you get that first kill streak up, you're able to capitalize on all of them. But for example, there are times where you die off, and it can be pretty depressing dying one off of this score streak setup. But however, I say this is the most overpowered HVK class setup. This class setup is absolutely awesome. If you don't really care that much about streaks, you could swap out anti-up for scavenger just to have a more, you know, reliable class. But I find that this class works super well for me, and I think it will work out super well for you guys as well. Please drop a like on this video. If you guys made it down to the end of the video, I'd appreciate if you guys could smash out 2,000 likes. That would be absolutely awesome if you guys could all do that. And also be sure to drop a comment down in the comment section down below saying what gun you guys want me to make a class setup video on next. I'd really appreciate that. Also subscribe for Cookie and Don't Looky. And I'm out. Peace. Thanks for guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and have a great night, guys.